Well, welcome back to Music Talk. I'm Dave.
I'm Mike.
That's Mike.
That's David. Right there. Look, right here. Over here.
All right. So this week we're going to be checking out the new Anthony Hamilton. Love is the New Black. Looks like this.
Yep.
You know, you got to dig his wardrobe there, right? That's cool.
That's right.
I don't really complain much when it's just a one dude and they put themselves on there, because I mean, who else are you going to put on there? You know, it's not like you're a band. So I'm not going to complain much about that. So
it's the culture. Yeah.
The back actually kind of looks a little bit like Marvin Gaye a little bit there on that one. So let's see. I'll go ahead and show you the rest before we get into the inside. Here's the CD with a black heart, because, you know, love is the new black, right? And then on the inside, you got him kicking back in a car, which, what is that? Maybe a Mercury or something?
It's a Lincoln Continental.
Is it a Lincoln? Yeah, Lincoln.
On the suicide doors, about a 68.
Nice. Well, that's a cool ass car. And then you got him chilling on the back there with the strut. Got all the titles of the songs there. Pretty cool. Inside, you don't get any lyrics. You get who wrote the songs, and you get a couple of guest people on here, but they don't tell you a whole lot about the musicians on here. He's got 2 pages of thank yous. This is the inside. Here's your first page, second page, and then from here down, and the next 2 pages is thank yous.
Right.
All these people. But it doesn't really give you a lineup of who's playing what, which I was wishing they would have, because I couldn't find a lot of information. Now, this CD, it came out in the late September 2021, so there's not a lot out there on it. I saw a couple interviews where he was talking a little bit about it, but I couldn't really track down a lot of the musicians on here. I did find a few, and we'll talk about them as we go. Yeah, I think the main thing on here is you have Anthony Hamilton and a guy named Ramon Montgomery, and also Jermaine Dupri. Seemed like they're the 3 that did most everything. I'm guessing Ramon Montgomery might be the one doing a lot of the instrumentation on here. I'm guessing. I really don't know.
Well, I've got a pretty good list here.
Yeah, I mean, there are quite a few guest musicians on here, but as far as like the main tracks, they don't really tell you a whole lot about who plays what. Well, this was recorded in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah, again, too, I think a lot of this was networking, putting it together.
Could have been.
I think it was a networking thing, and I think between Dupree and Hamilton, they probably covered a lot of stuff in the studio there in Charlotte, because that's where he's from, is Charlotte.
Right. Yeah. But you know, we did check out Kim's last year, and that one to me was more like a jazz type,
right?
You know, R&B jazzy type. Then we did, of course, the Silk Sonic, which was your funk, you know, get up and party funk style. Yeah. This right here is straight soul. I mean, it's truly soul, and man, I mean, there's times on here where you can feel his pain.
Yeah.
I mean, Anthony Hamilton has a way of singing to where you feel it. You know what I mean? And I guess to me, that's what soul's all about, because when you feel the pain all the way in your soul, you know, he's letting it out, man, you know, and he's always been known for that, really. So
he went to that Marvin Gaye school. I mean, I heard a lot of references to Marvin Gaye throughout this music.
Yeah, and I have some Curtis Mayfield in there a little bit.
Yep. So. Yeah, I mean, and you know, the guest appearances like Lil Jon, Ross. You know, I mean, these are all people he has worked with in the past, or knew about, or used as a producer here or there. And they all, and it's funny. It's like the last album we did was like a collaboration
of a bunch of older songs. Yeah.
You know, and a bunch of different people,
And another funny thing is the album, I mean, it was the Black Label Society, and now we're doing Love is the New Black. So we're like on this black theme, right?
Well, yeah.
So anyway,
Black
I just
goes.
thought that was funny. Is because we were doing something, Black Label Society, and now this album's called Love is the New Black. I'm like, man, that's strange that we're doing them back to back like that. But
Yep.
completely opposite sides of the spectrum of music, though.
Yeah, it is.
So anyway, we'll go through the songs real quick. Love is the New Black is the opening song, and man, I love this song.
Yeah,
it's probably one of my favorites on the record. The only thing I didn't like about this song, it was too short. It wasn't even 3 minutes long, man. I was right. I mean, I was in the groove, and then it was over. I wish it would have lasted another minute or so, at least. But I love the groove, the bass. It's got that 70s soul, reminded me of Curtis Mayfield, like we were saying, and Marvin Gaye, little mashup. The bass line was great. I mean, I really love the bass line on this. So this one to me was everything I love about soul music. And the words too. I mean, it's got the meaning. You can take that meaning in a bunch of different ways. Love is the new black. So it's however you want to relate to it. It really, you can go anywhere with it. So I really loved it. The words, the music, everything about it was great to me. So except for the shortness.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it too. I wish, and like you were saying earlier, there was a little more references to who the musicians were.
Now this one sounded like it had real drums on it to me.
Yeah, there are a couple of them that have real drums on it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that had the electronic hi-hat thing going on, and
yeah,
I think that was doubled up on some of the real live drum tracks.
I do too. This one definitely had the living room drums. I call them living room drums because it's almost like they're set up in my living room. That's what they sounded like. I could hear them that well. It's like I'm right there with them, and I loved it. It was a little high, tinty, trebly, but man, it worked perfect for me. That first song was just a great opener. I mean, honestly.
Yep. Yeah. Now, threw it all away. That one to me was a direct lift from Marvin Gaye's Mercy.
Yeah, even the guitar line was, I loved it though. I loved the guitar line that he was in there doing the had great percussion. I feel like this one had a little bit of programmed drums in it.
Did.
But I do agree with you. It was a lift from Marvin Gaye. I liked the song though. It was still another good one.
Yeah, I mean, and again, I mean, we've talked about this before. There's not a whole lot you can do anymore without sounding like somebody.
No, and it's not a knock on them either. No, I mean, again, you're following up with some of the best ever. So if you're sounding like the best ever, then you're doing it right.
It works. It works. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly. And this one's another good one. Threw it all away. I mean,
yeah.
So then we get to Real Love. And this is the one with Rick Ross, and I love the upright bass and the grand piano in it. Right.
I'm gonna say though, this whole thing, the way that round singing was going on in the background, it just made the whole drum track sound rushed and forced.
I didn't like the drums on this.
It did not settle. It didn't land.
It sounded like they were trying to put an extra bass drum beat in there that didn't fit.
I think it was that rounding in the background because the drums actually started off, and then once that round singing in the background started happening, it just sounded forced. It was like, we're going to force this to work.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's what I mean, because it almost sounded like they were trying to squeeze that bass drum part into a too small of an area. So you were getting this really fast, and it didn't quite fit to me.
Right. It was like
the song, in general, it was a weird song to me. I saw a lot of people taking knocks on Anthony Hamilton for having like rappers on there, which that doesn't bother me. I like Rick Ross. I think the two songs with the rapping in it were good. I liked them. Didn't bother me at all that he had them on there. So the people that were knocking it, I really just don't even care what they said because whatever, right?
I don't either. I mean, what the hell? You got Lil Jon, I mean,
I mean, Rick Ross, man, he's the boss, dude. You don't go up against the boss, you know. But this song here, it was weird to me, Real Love, because it started out, I thought he was talking about the love of like your mom, you know. And then Rick Ross comes in talking about how hot this chick is and he's going to eat her and stuff, you know. So then it's like, I don't think we're talking about a mom anymore, you know. And then of course the last verse that, you know, it kind of goes back into what's that?
Mom's out of the picture.
I mean,
we ain't talking about fried chicken now.
No, I actually I thought that when it came on that he was talking about, you know, he wanted a real love like the kind that your mom gives you, you know, like a real love. And then Rick Ross comes in there and just ripping, you know, about eating her and all this stuff. And then it goes back to like he wants to find a love, I guess, kind of the way I really don't know. The song was just totally weird to me. I liked it. It was just really weird. Really weird. I couldn't wrap my mind on what was going on with the words there.
Right.
But again, I like Rick Ross. I didn't hate the rap part. I didn't think it was out of place. I thought it was a good breakup a little bit for the music. So, but then we get to number 4, which is I'm Ready. To me, this was a classic trunk shaking bass. When it drops, man, you know, it's got that boom, boom,
right.
You know, and it's just, it shakes the trunk and your license plate, like you were saying, rattles, you know, and I mean, you feel it 3 cars back.
If you ain't put your headlights in right, they're going out.
And I mean, I really like this song. I really like Lil Jon anyway. So I thought that all right, I'm ready and all that stuff when he's coming in, I thought it was great. There was a line in there that Anthony Hamilton said that said, making a pot of grits as thick as you're looking. And to me, that is just like classic, dude.
Yeah.
You're as thick as that pot of grits, girl. You know what I'm saying?
I'll tell you that.
I mean, I love that line, man.
Yeah. I mean, that's something I don't get out here in the Pacific Northwest. You don't have a lot of grit eating people out here.
You ain't got no grits out there, right? You gotta come back home to get some.
They're here, but I haven't found them.
Ain't like down here in the South, man. You know. But anyway, so I actually thought that was a cool song. Again, people were knocking it because Lil Jon. I thought it was great. That's a club song. You could hear that in the club. You can hear that riding down the street 3 cars away. You know, it was a cool song to me. I dig it. I've always liked that bass anyway, because obviously I play bass. So if you can play the bass enough to rattle my license plate, I'm cool with that. I am. So then we get to number 5, which is White Hennessy, right?
I like Hennessy.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, man, this is the song when you got your girl there, you're sipping on some Hennessy. And I mean, you're getting ready to go to Sexy Town right here, buddy. And this one, you're gonna, how should I put it politely? Panties are gonna be dropping on this one. Honestly, I mean, there's no doubt. You better be ready. You better be ready to get down when this one comes on, man. Because I mean, you're getting it.
Now look, what goes on behind your closed doors is none of my business.
I'm just telling you, beware when you play White Hennessy that there will be some panties falling. I'm telling you.
I ain't telling you what's falling around here.
Hey, to each his own, but I'm telling you, you better be ready when you put this one on, because we're sipping White Hennessy and we're going to Sexy Town. I'm just telling you right now.
That's right.
All right, so then we get to number 6, which is Coming Home. And this is one of the few songs that a guy named Billy Odom plays guitar in. They're all right here in a row, like three or 4 songs, I think.
Yeah, we were just talking about this song before we came on. Yeah.
We both kind of mentioned it because of the way it sounded. And to me, it sounded like the Isley Brothers, just the guitar sound, not the song, but the sound itself is the same tone, the same effects that the Isley Brothers used in Who's That Lady?
Yeah, and also, you know, Seals and Cross used it in a couple of their songs. That same type sound. Yeah.
It's very unique too, man, because you don't hear it that much.
Right. Well, it's the same thing as with oh God, I'm trying to think of the name of that one song where I remember Dad on steel guitar, he had to use a flat bar
Mm-hmm.
to give it almost a sitar type sound,
Yeah. Yeah, because it does have that kind of weird zitarish sound. And it's got that high end.
with distortion.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of like a mosquito buzzing around, that
Yep.
kind of sound. But
Yep.
really unique. The song's cool. It's basically about he's been on the road, he's coming home, he wants you to get your lace on, probably gonna have some white Hennessy, you
Yep.
know. Just
Yep.
just be ready when he gets there because he's coming home. So that was number 6. Number 7, which is the first, I think number 7 was the first hit or the first one he put out on this one, is called You Made a Fool of Me.
Uh-huh.
And there is a video for it. Now this one here, man, it's every man has felt this.
Yeah, I watched the video on this. I didn't watch all the videos, but I did watch this one.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, and it's funny too. The girl that he had reminded me a lot of Michelle Obama.
Did she?
If you look at her in the face and stuff, is a lot of resemblance there.
Yeah,
But
I didn't really I saw the video, but I didn't really pay much attention to it because I was really more into listening to the song
yeah,
itself.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I didn't really pay much attention to the video. But anyway, basically it's about getting screwed over,
Yep. Talking about how
And,
she brought him around to all their friends.
yeah, and I mean we've been there, right? And I heard him talking about it a little bit where he said that, even dudes get screwed over. It's usually, women always write about how they've been screwed over by men, but men get screwed over too.
Oh
And
yeah.
this song here is a prime example of somebody getting screwed over. And man, there's points where he's singing it, and I swear, man, it just hits you right there. I mean, it's like, oh, it's like, dude, I know that, I feel your pain, man. I've been there.
Yep.
And then, the one thing about that song, I hated the snare sound on it. It had that clap reverb thing. And it was the worst part of the song. I wish it would have just been a regular snare or even a rim shot, and the song would have been beautiful. But that snare with the clap over top and the
Yeah, but I got
reverb.
to tell you though, Roland and yeah, it's Roland has been doing a lot of experimental work with acoustic drums, adding triggering with acoustic drums, and they've got this one trigger that you just set it like where you'd set your cowbell on the bass drum room.
Yeah.
Turn it on, and whatever drum you hit, it picks it up and funnels it through a triggering type thing. And I got a feeling, when these people are doing this kind of stuff, all studios and stuff, Roland and people like that send this stuff to them.
Yeah.
Try this out. Use this. Go for this. Try this out. Use it like,
And I feel like there is a time and a place for that, but that song, it just didn't work.
Right.
It would have been better on one of the other quicker songs or one of the songs where they were rapping and all. Maybe it would have fit better on one of those. But this one was a song where he's like bleeding, he's just bleeding it out, man. And then you got this clap sound going on. And it was like, I don't know. I really like the song. I just couldn't get into the snare sound on that. That one drove me crazy.
Well, another thing too, I think a lot, and I don't know, this is where I kind of have differences with the way certain types of music are done, is they tailor make the music to sound good on car stereo systems.
Yeah.
Instead of it, I don't know, I want it to sound good on my home system, and I hope I can make it sound as good in the car as I do on my home system. Well, I when you play stuff that's been tailor made for a stereo system in a car and you put it on your home system, it's just way oversaturated, which is what happens with that electronic hi-hat sound.
I do, yeah. Definitely the hi-hat thing. But I do a lot of my listening in the car. because I do a lot of riding back and forth a
Right.
lot. So I listen to a lot of these CDs in the car, but I also bring them home and I listen to them in open and through headphones. So I try to get every aspect of it. But no
Right.
matter what, that snare still was not
Yeah.
good.
Right.
Anyway, that's just, sometimes it's just me. I know people are going to give me crap about stuff and like, you always pick on whatever, but it's just the way I feel, and I'm giving you my honest opinion, not
Well,
a fact. It's just my
yeah.
opinion. So,
I mean, that's me too. I'm listening from the standpoint of sitting behind my drums and what I want to hear when I walk into to the engineering room, or or what I want to hear when we have a playback on a live session or whatever.
yeah. Well, one
I
thing
I know what I'm looking for,
yeah.
and I don't want tricks and oversaturation and slap happy doubling effects or whatever happening. I mean,
Yeah.
to me, it ruins the whole genre. I mean, I don't know.
Well, a lot of it too. A
You
lot
know?
of it too is how they're doing these things. Like you're saying, it's a network type thing, and people are doing this, and then they send it somewhere else, and they add all this stuff, and the
Right,
producer's got his hands on everything. So
right.
they add this stuff much later, probably.
Yeah. And I'm
But
sure probably hundreds of tracks that they got back that they listened to and just set it aside.
yeah, yeah.
Not gonna work.
For me, it was just, man. I mean, I felt his pain, and
Yep.
I couldn't get over the clap.
Yep.
I was crying with him, and then I kept hearing this clap, and it's like didn't fit. Anyway,
Yep.
so the next song, number 8, was "I Thought We Were in Love," which I don't know. I wish it had real drums on it, man, because it had a great bass line. A guy named Mark Jefferson playing bass on this one, and what a great bass line that was.
Yeah.
And the vocals were awesome, but it had a programmed drums, your hi-hat that we keep talking about. But same kind of deal. He thought that they were in love, and guess what? She said, "Nope, see ya." So a lot of this album, man, is going back and forth from, he wants to find love, he has a good love, and then he somehow it gets screwed up and he loses it. I mean, he's doing "Sexy Time," and then the next song, she's gone. And it's like,
wasn't it about 10 years since he released his last album, something like that?
I honestly couldn't tell you. I didn't go back through his catalog so much. I do have an album from him from 10 years ago, but I thought he'd done a couple since then, but maybe not. I don't know.
It had been a while. I don't know. Maybe 10 years is a little too much, but it seems like I read something about 10 years. Maybe he went through a lot of heartbreak and stuff.
Yeah, I think he did, man. And I think it's all coming out on this record too, because man, I mean, he's hitting it hard, man. So now we get to number 9. And you know what this song is? Superstar.
Yes, sir, buddy.
This your boy.
Yeah, Luther Vandross.
You know how many times Mike has talked about Leon Russell on this channel?
Yep.
And here we are with a Leon Russell song.
Yep.
Superstar. Which this song is fantastic, man. I mean,
oh my God,
the orchestration was awesome. I mean, Jennifer Hudson, amazing, right?
Yes. Oh,
Anthony Hamilton, amazing. I mean, this song was beautiful, beautiful. And the thing too, man, is I kept hearing this flute, right? I'm like, man, that flute is awesome. So I looked it up. It's Kim Scott. I don't know if you know who that is, but she's a real famous jazz flautist, I guess you'd say.
Flautist, yeah.
Yeah. So she's got she's been known to be in an all-girl jazz supergroup called Jazz in Pink. And she's also part of the Tuscaloosa Symphony Orchestra, or was. But I mean, she may still be. But man, that flute sounded so good, man. And she just ripped it up. But that song, I mean, obviously, what was it? The Carpenters were the first one to make it.
Carpenters were the first one to make it. And honestly, I really believe when Leon Russell wrote the song, he wrote it for Karen Carpenter.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the standpoint of the song and consider the times, they're really, I mean, other than Carole King and Barbra Streisand, there really wasn't a whole lot of female vocalists out there,
Well,
as far as in the pop field.
well, it was co-written by Bonnie Bramlett though, and
Right.
she had her group
Yeah.
too,
She was
with her husband, I believe.
part of Delaney and Bonnie,
Right.
which
Right.
Eric Clapton was on that one album. I've got that album down here, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
I got to break it out and play it. God, I bought it and never played it. But anyway,
I tell you what though, man, they killed this song, man.
oh yeah,
I mean, it was great, fantastic.
Yeah.
But another one of my favorites on the record, really.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Jennifer Hudson just added so much to it with him, and it was like, wow.
Yeah, well, I read a thing on Anthony Hamilton. He was being interviewed, and I forget, it was one of the soul magazines that had an interview with him, and he said that ever since he had heard Luther Vandross do the song, he had always wanted to redo it.
Yeah.
And right now's the time. He goes, let's redo it.
Yeah, he did a great job. I mean, it's fantastic, man.
Oh, Jennifer Hudson, I swear to God, man, I love her voice.
There's nothing she can't do, man.
No, and I don't,
together they
were. I'm not going to go down that road.
Yeah. But together, I mean, they were so awesome, and the whole song came together so well. It's a perfect song. I mean, for what they did to it, it was fantastic. I loved it. So now we get to number 10, and this is Pillows.
Yes.
And this is a really cool song because it's basically, love makes you do some, crazy shit. I'm just going to say it. Love makes you do crazy shit. And he went up, he done screwed up, she done went and cheated on him. And then what do? You go grab your pillow and you cry and you talk to your pillow. And there's a line in there where he says, this pillow is where I bury my secrets. I mean, how many times have you held your pillow and just, you know what I mean? Pretty awesome, dude. I mean, great words on this.
I remember as a kid, Nana she'd take my transistor radio and shove it up in my pillow. And that's how I go to sleep at night.
Yeah.
Listen to the transistor radio.
Well, I never did that, but I definitely told many a secret in that pillow about people.
Oh yeah. Well, I punched my pillow quite a bit.
Yep. So then we get to number 11, I'm Sorry. And it's got this really crazy guitar piano part that keeps going around in a circle, kind of like or something. It's really weird, man. It had this it just, I don't know what it was, man. It was something about it. It just kind of got into, it was kind of like,
didn't work.
It's kind of like that sound you hear in a horror movie when something's getting ready to happen. It was like this, right. But I mean, still the song's pretty good. But basically, it's about him taking advantage of his girl. She leaves. Now he's sorry for not doing what he's supposed to have done to keep her around. Again, it's another one of those, she done broke his heart again. I mean, most of this album is about heartbreak, even though it's called Love is the New Black. I mean, you start out loving everything in love, and you got a couple love songs, and then it's totally heartbreaking, man. I mean, I feel like somebody needs to give Anthony Hamilton a hug, man, because if he's breaking all this out right now, then he went through some crap, man. So I don't know. Then number 12 we get to is called Mercy.
Yep.
And it's got this really great guitar part, and the piano kind of doubles with him. It kind of sounds like it could be like a hollow body, something, playing some old bluesy type stuff.
Well, the funny thing is, I mean, and we already talked about it earlier. We talked about how, which song was it? Threw It All Away, sound like Marvin Gaye. This one, Mercy,
right?
Sounded like Marvin Gaye,
Yeah.
And Mercy, Mercy Me,
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
there's a lot of times when Anthony Hamilton does that, whoa, and it sounds like Marvin Gaye when he was doing it, many times throughout the record you hear that.
Yep.
Which is great. Love it. And this one here, basically, it's like, until you walk a mile in my shoes, show me a little bit of mercy because you don't know what I've been through. And he's pretty much laying out what he's been through between song number 6 and now. I mean, we've been on like a 6 or 7 song heartbreak, man.
Yeah, which is fun, which is funny because the whole when he first had this concept for the album, it was leaning more towards a political and type situation, and then he decided, well, no, I want to be, which is what brought the title of the album up, was Love Is the New Black. And but it's gone through so many changes in these 12 songs, 14 songs, it's like,
I mean, I don't see anything political. Maybe maybe safe, maybe a couple undertones in there, but basically it's about everybody needs love.
Yeah, safe was a little political, but
it wasn't even really political.
And the thing is, yeah, exactly. And my whole point about it is everything in that song needed to be said.
Yeah. Well, that's what we're on now. 13 is safe. And to me, I mean, dude, that's like one of a great groove going in there. You know what I'm saying? And he's talking about, we're taking back our schools. We're going to take back our neighborhoods, get back our families, the message was fantastic. And basically the message is we need more love in the world because there's so much crap going on, especially in, the inner cities and all where, he lost his brother, people getting shot and killed. And, they need to take back the streets and show some love, Yeah. So now we're at 14, which is Mama Don't Cry, right? this one actually might be about his mom on this one. He talks about his mom and his dad. He wants them to be proud. They should be proud that they've lifted themselves up out of, hunger and everything. And they found their way, right?
Right.
The funny thing on this one, the horns, the sax in there kind of reminded me of the Papa Was a Rolling Stone, at the beginning where they do that, and then they got that, the sax. I don't know if they meant to do that because he was talking a lot about Papa riding and stuff. I don't know if it was intentional, but it sure did sound a lot like that part.
Well, the reason why he did one of the things I read on his interview, the reason why he did this the way it is done, is because he wanted to bring back a lot of the old school soul.
Yeah.
And I think he did a good job of covering it with a new flair, I mean, there are only honestly only a couple of songs on here that I just couldn't get into the groove on. I mean, we talked about it earlier. The one where I was talking about how it sounded forced. It was Real Love.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that one was all over the map. But all in all, I mean, there really wasn't any song other than that. I couldn't listen to that all the way through. I tried a couple of times.
Which one? Real Love?
Yeah, it just drove me crazy.
That's because you didn't get into the lyrics of Rick Ross coming in talking about eating her.
No, it just drove me crazy. I couldn't get past the rhythm section. I was like, this ain't working.
Yeah, I didn't like the drums. I thought the drums were weird in that one for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, the record to me was a great soul record. I mean, I felt like I'll go ahead and give a couple knocks on it because that's what I do. A couple songs sounded like they should have just been combined and just had a 6-minute song because a couple of them sounded really similar and they were about the same thing. So you really could have, stuck 2 or 3 of them together and made one long song out of it and probably would have been more dynamic.
Yeah. Well, if they could have put Through It All Away and Mercy together for sure.
Yeah. Sure could have. And,
just the way they wrote it, I mean,
I didn't like a lot of the programmed drums, and there was at some points programmed bass. I mean, you had keyboard bass all through it too. I really wish they would have used more real musicians. I'm not giving anybody the COVID pass anymore because I've already told you I'm not going to give anybody a pass for the COVID thing because can be done with real musicians. They choose not to. That's their mistake.
Well, yeah, my whole thing about the COVID pass is they take the shortcut and just don't bother to network. And a lot of musicians, and which is what I'm trying to do here, is put a system together where I can network.
Mm-hmm.
And if I can do it on my budget, then come on.
Yeah, these guys got tons of money, man. So,
yeah.
And I think a lot of this album, the reason it had so much programming is because you had this same producer doing most of it. You know, had his hands on it. Let's add this, let's do that. And a lot of it comes from Jermaine Dupri, really, because I mean, you know, he's been around forever. He's done stuff with everybody. You can hear that Jermaine Dupri programmed stuff going all over the place.
Yeah, that hi-hat is his signature.
That is his signature. He probably wrote that hi-hat line, and he's used it on every act that he's ever produced.
I would like to know what the original sound was and how oversaturated he put it to get it to that point. You know, I mean, because to me, it's an over. I'm sorry, I'm just talking from a drummer standpoint. That's not a real drummer sound.
No, and it's not just from a drum standpoint either. It's really that hi-hat sound has been played out so long, it needs to be retired.
Yes, it does.
Honestly,
everybody knows your tweeters work.
Yeah, I don't know why people consistently use it, especially on an album like this where you're feeling the pain of Anthony Hamilton, but you got this crazy sounding snare or this crazy sounding hi-hat. You know, that annoyed me a whole lot more than having rappers on here. Again, like I said, I've seen people complaining about why did Anthony Hamilton have rappers? He don't need rappers. I thought it was great. I liked both songs. I didn't like parts of both songs, but I liked both songs.
Well, rappers have a story to tell, you know.
Well, it didn't hurt the songs to me. Exactly. It didn't hurt the whole album. So
there's nothing wrong with the stories that they have to tell. There's nothing wrong with the aspect of approaching doing the rap approach, you know.
Yeah.
Not my thing.
Right.
I'm gonna be honest with you, it's not my thing, but there is a place and a time for it.
Yeah.
And it is a real talent.
Yep. Yeah. And the songs on here, that was pretty much the ones that's what I had to knock on, you know, but that's no big deal. So now for the good stuff. I love the piano playing on here. I don't know who did the piano playing, but all throughout this record, the piano was awesome.
Let me see if I got anything.
You got anything on that? I was assuming it might have been that Ramon Montgomery guy, but I really don't know. But whoever it was, there was some great piano work on here. I feel like Anthony went straight to my soul with his pain because my God, man, there was times when I really felt what he was feeling. And I love that. I mean, he bared it all out in a few songs, and those songs, man, they really hit me. I like a lot of the words that he had. I mean, pretty much all the words on this record were great. The only one that I had a problem with was Real Love, and that was only because it was confusing. I wasn't sure if we were talking about a mom or what. I don't know. But great. To me, it was a great soul record.
Yeah.
And I mean,
I don't have anybody for the piano, but there is a list and a half of producers. You got Ninth Wonder.
Right. Well, that's the thing. I mean, it's got to be one of them dudes.
Brody Brown, Cardiac, Charles Hamilton, Eric G, Jermaine Dupri, Jay Manifest, King Drum Dummy, Manuel Seal, Mook on the Beats, Rance, Williams Symphony, and WU10.
Well, whoever it was playing the piano out of all them dudes, that was great. Great piano work. I loved when they had real bass. I love the bass sound. You know, I'm always a stickler about a bass sounding like a bass. You know, this one actually had tone where you could make out notes on the bass. It wasn't just a sub-low, something you couldn't tell. I liked it, man. I mean, I thought it was a great record. Anthony Hamilton did it again, in my opinion. I mean, if you like soul, R&B soul, Anthony did it again, man. I mean, he knocked it out of the park.
I'm going to venture to say that one of these programmers, one of these producers were like you were saying, were doing the keyboard parts.
Yeah. Well, I know Ramon Montgomery wrote just about every song with Anthony Hamilton, so I have a feeling that he might have been one of the key musicians on here.
Yeah, yeah.
So
That's
anyway,
probably why there's nobody attributed to playing keys.
right. That's because he's probably doing most of it himself.
Yeah, him or Anthony one.
Right. But anyway, well, I'm going to tell you, I gave this one a 7.9. I
Yeah,
thought it was pretty daggum good, man. It's 7.9 for me. There's a couple songs where, you're sipping on something, you're going to have some sexy time. And then
yeah,
there's songs where you're going to cry because it freaking hurts, man. I mean, he had some heartache and he made me feel it.
yeah. I'm gonna give it a 7.5, and I liked it. In general, I detest program drumming.
Yep.
There's too many drummers out there in the market that could have done a much better job.
You
You
know,
know, I'm looking at the real thing. I want to hear real instruments. I don't want to hear electronics being manipulated.
if there would have been more real uh drums and some of the bass, if they would have played real basses on there and had more actual musicians, I probably would have kicked this thing up
Yeah,
to at least an 8.6.
yeah,
But because of so much programming and those crazy weird snare sounds and stuff and hi-hats, I couldn't get it over 8 because of that. But
yeah,
honestly, if you'd have took all that off and just had Anthony Hamilton sing these with a piano, it probably would have been a 10. Because I mean, he just Anthony shined on it, man. It was fantastic vocal work on the whole thing. The
mhm.
Jennifer Hudson song, Superstar, unreal. The first song was great. Love is the New Black. The last song, Mama Don't Cry, another great. It started great. It ended great. Had a few great songs in there, sprinkled with some stuff, you know. So to
Yeah,
me, it was a great record.
yeah.
Uh,
I liked it.
I think everybody should check it out.
There were a couple of songs that got repetitive.
Yep.
Uh, yeah, I had to walk away from them after a while. And after listening to about the fifth or sixth time, they went through the same line.
Yeah,
You know,
and that's why I feel like if they would have combined a couple songs and made them longer and put them into one, you probably would have had a couple
yeah,
better songs on there. But they were all like 3 minutes long, 3.5 minutes. So you could
I
have had
could
a 6 minute epic.
I could be missing the point, but if I am, let me know.
Yeah.
I think the album was great.
Hmm.
Uh, definitely something I wouldn't turn off if it came on the radio. Like I say, I'm gonna give it a 7.5, and I just can't get past the electronic drums. I just can't.
Yeah.
I can't do it because every time I hear it, number one, I look at there are so many drummers running around, such as me, that aren't making money
Yeah.
because of that. Because somebody's sitting there finger tapping on samples,
Yeah. I
and
know.
it.
And it ain't even about the money thing to me. It's just I want to hear the real deal.
Yeah, and
I
the real
want
deal is what you go for. I mean, you
right.
cannot beat the sound of real instruments. You cannot. I mean, if you want to get really real about it, you can't beat the sound of an acoustic bass.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. When Real Love started out with that upright bass and piano, I
Right.
was like, yeah, this is great.
Right.
It did loop, it turned into a loop, but still,
Right.
that sound was awesome, you know.
Um, you know, I don't know. I'm just I don't want to continue hearing music that is challenging somebody's car stereo system.
Yeah.
I want to hear stuff that can be sat down in a hall and reproduced, which is another thing I want to bring up. I want people I want people to start understanding what it's like to sit in a room with acoustic instruments and understand that when you hit a drum, it sounds off.
Yeah.
And there's no volume control on it. It's an acoustic drum. um, you can't, and this is off on a different tangent. This is off the
Yeah,
album.
Mike's going in tonight, man. He's laying it out, bro. He's got some anger on him. He's done heard the heartbreak from Anthony, and now he's breaking it out.
I'm breaking it out. I'm just, it amazes me how you have these rooms that will hire a live band. No acoustic applications at all in the whole club. It's not even carpet on the floor in front of the stage.
Yeah.
Then the whole night they spend running up to the stage going, the band's too loud. Well, guess what? You stick your head in a steel drum and clap your hands, it's going to break your ears. You know why? Because it's a steel drum. It doesn't absorb sound. Yeah. So if you want a live band, prepare your room for live music.
Yeah.
Don't blame the band for being too loud.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're not a jukebox. You can't reach over and turn the volume knob down when you got acoustic drums and stuff on stage.
Well, you know, and that's the thing. I mean,
that's a fact of life. You know,
when you hire a real band, you bring in more people.
Right.
If you want a jukebox, you're not going to have people. So you got to deal with what happens, you know?
Right.
I mean, you know, a lot of bodies does absorb sound some, but you still got to have something. You can't complain about it, honestly.
Right.
You got to be played loud anyway.
You got to have a venue that can handle it. You got to have a venue that has a carpet on the floor and a dance floor right in front of the stage. And people have an area where if they don't want to be right in the direct blast, they can move away from the band.
Yeah.
And if people are sitting up in front as a club owner and they come up to you and they go, the band's too loud, the first thing the club owner should say, well, where are you sitting? Well, I'm right up front. Well, maybe you need to move back.
Yeah. Yep.
Because I'm tired of hearing the argument.
Yeah.
I'm tired of it. I've been in music all my life. I'm tired of hearing the argument.
Well, most people don't really listen to the band anyway. You know that.
Yeah.
We're background noise, you know?
Yeah.
Very rare. If you got musicians in there, they'll watch.
But well, that's the whole thing.
You know, they just want to sing a song and jump around.
If you want a club with background noise, then just run some background noise. Don't hire a band.
Yeah. Yeah.
And don't.
That's always been the downfall of playing music is, you know, can't please everybody.
My God, I remember playing the Greenville Inn. The place was lucky to seat 125 people, and we were full tilt boogie. I was breaking cymbals and busting drum heads, and we had a waiting line at the door.
Yeah. Yep.
We had a line wrapped around the place waiting to come in.
Because everybody used to have fun. Now everybody complains. That's the big difference in the world.
Yep.
That's why I need more love. Like Anthony Hamilton said, we need more love.
We need more love.
Dang it. All right, we're going to wrap this up. Anthony Hamilton, Love is the New Black.
That's
Great
right.
Record.
It was.
7.9. Mike gave it a 7.5. Go check it out. You'll cry. You'll laugh. You'll make love with something. Somebody. Right. Drink a drink.
Something.
Something. Somebody's going to get some loving. So anyway, until next time, y'all stay safe.
Peace out and listen to the music. Come make love with something.
Make love with something.